Dominican Republic is the second largest and most diverse Caribbean country. It's located in the Caribbean. It borders with Haiti. The Atlantic Ocean and Caribbean Sea sound the coastlines. It's home to some of the most gorgeous beaches and attracts thousands of tourists every year. It has astounding nature, intriguing history, and rich culture. The Dominican Republic population is 10.65 million, with 60% of people living in cities and the other 40% living in rural areas as of its 2016 census. Around 2 million people live in the capital of Santo Domingo. Dominican racial labeling system is as follows: Blanco, Indio Calero, Indio Oscuro, Negro. These are important to know since you'll be living there. You'll know what people are calling you. The largest city and capital of the Dominican Republic is Santo Domingo. The entire area is measured to be approximately as large as New Hampshire and Vermont combined, having an area of approximately 18,819 square miles. Bordered by the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean Sea, the island is separated by a 70-mile-wide body of water called the Mona Passage. Rugged mountain peaks, hills, valleys, sugarcane plantations, and white beaches. The climate is tropical. Pico Duarte is the highest mountain, rising 10,417 feet above sea level, and the area between the two southern mountain ranges, called the cul-de-sac, is the lowest point. These are both the highest and lowest points in all of the Caribbean. The Dominican Republic covers two-thirds of the Hispaniola Islands, specifically the central and west mountain areas. There are four major mountainous ranges of the DR, which include the highest range deemed Cordillera Central. Natural resources of this area include gold, silver, nickel, and bauxite. The country's annual average temperature is 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Temps are cooler in the higher elevations, while near sea level the average temperatures reach 82.4 degrees Fahrenheit. In some of the low-lying valleys, high temperatures near 100 degrees Fahrenheit are common. Although nature, the climate can be nice and beaches are beautiful, it can also be hazardous in the area. The Dominican Republic is also highly susceptible to hurricanes and tropical storms due to its geographic location. The area also suffers from occasional drought and sometimes flooding. The eastern half of the island claims its independence in 1844 as the Dominican Republic. In 1916, Woodrow Wilson was forced to send in the Marines to dictate the Dominican Republic for the next 8 years until 1924. Enforcement of dictatorship continues with the rise of Rafael Trujillo in 1930. He then was assassinated in 1961 after being in power for 31 years. Presidential elections then followed the assassination and happened every 4 years. In 1966 to 1978, Joaquin Balaguer continues to be elected president until he falls short to Antonio Guzman in 1978. Guzman's election was cut short after Salvatore Blanco becomes the next president in 1982. After all the switches in political candidates, Balaguer comes back into office in 1986, 1990, and 1994. There were then allegations of electoral fraud in 1994, and there was a re-election in 1996, which Balaguer was banned from, hopefully allowing a new and normal political government for the Dominican Republic. Today, the Dominican Republic's president is Danilo Medina. The culture and people of the Dominican Republic are a mixture of European colonists, African slaves, and the Taino natives' cultures, the former being the predominant one. European, African, and cultural elements are most prominent in food, family cult structure, religion, and music. Many Arawak/Taino names and words are used in daily conversation and for many foods native to the Dominican Republic. Hundreds of thousands of Haitians have migrated to the Dominican Republic, with some estimates of 800,000 Haitians in the country, while others put the Haitian-born population as high as 1 million. They usually work at low-paying and unskilled jobs in building construction and house cleaning and in sugar plantations. There have been accusations that some Haitian immigrants work in slavery-like conditions and are severely exploited. In the 20th century, many Arabs from Lebanon, Syria, and Palestine, Japanese, and to a lesser degree Koreans, settled in the country as agricultural laborers and merchants. The Chinese companies found business in telecom, mining, and railroads. The Chinese Dominican population is 500,000. The Arab community is rising at an increasing rate and is estimated at 80,000. There are around 1,900 Japanese immigrants who mostly work in the business districts and markets. There is a Korean population of 500, which could encounter many different kinds of people because of the increase in people moving to the Dominican Republic. The image depicts the statue of Jesus atop of the Isabel de Torres mountain in the Dominican Republic. The images are of a local Roman Catholic church where I live in Hazleton, PA. The shrine shown on the wall is actually all made of tiny individual glass pieces, which is visible most of the time. The purple drape is used for various religious ceremonies, but usually holidays such as Easter and Christmas. In the Dominican Republic, nearly 90% of the entire population claims to be Catholic, with the majority of that being Roman Catholic. However, Dominican Catholicism is described as a mix between traditions of that of Roman Catholicism and African heritage, specifically Santeria. Other religions in the community include Protestant, Seventh-day Adventist, Baptist, Mormon, and Jewish. Evangelical Protestantism has also become extremely popular in recent years due to its emphasis on family values and condemnation of alcohol, prostitution, and abuse. This is attractive to low-income Dominicans who have had unstable family lives. Haitian immigrants have also introduced spirit worship and voodoo. They have measured about 60,000 followers of those practices. Although Dominicans do not usually attend church regularly, they often hold rosarios, which are processions organized to pray for help from a saint or the Virgin Mary. Various customs and traditions are influenced by their religion.
Carnival celebrations are held in the Dominican Republic each February with parades, street dancing, food festivals, and music. Festivities also take place in the week leading up to Easter Sunday. Parades, beauty pageants, and different festivals in each town throughout the country fill the week. Major life events including birth, marriage, and death are marked by religious ceremonies according to each Dominican's faith community. Referring back to the combination of Catholic beliefs with African customs, formularios and oraciones, like prayers, are special chants practiced in the belief that they attract good luck or avoid the evil eye. Many Dominicans truly believe that the Catholic saints possess a magical power. This is expressed in the Santos Saints cult. Those who believe this keep images of one or two saints in the house and actually offer things to the images, hoping that their wishes will be fulfilled. On the night of the saints, Noche Vela, the saints are believed to be called to earth. Many lights and candles are used during this celebration, illuminating houses and the streets of the Dominican Republic. Many holidays in the Dominican Republic are religion-based. They celebrate Christmas and Good Friday, but they also have various other holidays of their own. They also celebrate the Day of Our Lady Alta Gracia on January 21st, Corpus Christi on June 17th, and the Feast of Our Lady of Mercy on September 24th. Non-religious holidays include Dia de Duarte, which is a commemoration of the birthday of their national hero, Juan Pablo Duarte, on January 26th. Their Dominican Independence Day is on February 27th, Labor Day on May 1st, and Dominican Restoration Day
on August 16th. The Dominican Independence Day usually falls around the beginning of Lent. It usually is honored by a rambunctious carnival-like celebration in Santo Domingo, with usually more than 500,000 people in attendance. Every town has its own festival in honor of its patron saint. This allows them to continue religious and non-religious activities like dancing, drinking, and gambling. When greeting one another, Dominicans use the formal pronouns such as usted instead of the familiar form tú, unless it is a close relationship. This is comparable to the American hey or yo to a friend versus a hello or pleased to see you during a new meeting or formal setting. Just as most people of Catholic religion have godparents, so do Dominicans. The word for this is compadrazgo. This is an important part of growing up in the Dominican Republic. The compadre or co-parent is chosen when a child is baptized. The parents typically choose a family member or friend that is loyal, honest, and trustworthy. The Dominican Republic's national sport is baseball versus America's sport of football. The baseball season runs from October to February. Hundreds of thousands of fans attend the games at Santo Domingo stadiums. U.S. teams also have many players of Dominican descent, both in the major and minor leagues. Other popular sports include horse racing and cockfighting. Dance is also a passion in the Dominican Republic. The most popular dance is the merengue, which is also the national dance. The dance includes a stiff leg step that is comparable to a limp. This is traditionally danced to music played by a trio. Every town has a dance hall. There are even annual merengue festivals in cities such as Santo Domingo, Puerto Plata, and Sueza. Salsa's music is also popular. Other folk dances include yuca, sarambo, zapeto, and fandango. Almost all major cities have nightclubs and gambling casinos where guests may legally play blackjack, craps, and roulette. Dominican music reflects Spanish, African, and American Indian roots. A percussion instrument known as a gura is an instrument inherited from the island's natives. Maracas, paletos, a guitar, and the gura is commonly used in Dominican folk music. Other instruments include accordion and the tambourine, both of which are common in American folk music as well. Arts and crafts are also a very common hobby in a Dominican culture. These activities include wood carvings, pottery, and ceramics, handmade rocking chairs, and hand-knitted clothing. A homemade rocking chair was actually given to former President John F. Kennedy as a gift in the 60s. Dominicans also commonly produce handmade jewelry of amber and Dominican turquoise, which is a light blue stone unique to the region. Spanish is the official spoken language of the Dominican Republic. It is universally spoken. Compared with other Latin American countries, Dominican Spanish is considered the closest to classical Spanish, also known as Castilian Spanish. However, it is a distinctive accent and includes many local expressions. Some English is also spoken in Santo Domingo. In the Dominican Republic, they talk about the middle and the lower class. When it comes to the middle class, they own houses and cars and enjoy the latest electronics. Children often graduate high school and move on to college. There is a lot of the population that lives in urban slums and poor rural areas. The Dominican Republic suffers from various economic and social problems, which include an unemployment rate of 30%, while other 20% of the workforce is underemployed. Migration from rural or urban areas has created a shortage in housing while increasing the urban crime rate. In Santo Domingo, much of the housing is substandard and the quality of the water is poor. The high unemployment rate is the main reason many leave the country. Race has been a significant factor in the employment options of Dominicans, as higher status jobs, such as those in business, government, and the professions, are usually held by lighter-skinned people. Women's unemployment rate is also higher, and many are denied full employment benefits. Agriculture has always been the main source of employment in the Dominican Republic. Most Dominican farmers do not own their own land and are known as sharecroppers or tenant farmers. Those who do own their own farms generally have fewer than 5 acres and grow only food to feed their families. Today, a growing number of Dominicans work in service-related jobs, specifically tourism. Rural dwellings are usually made of wood with thatched or tin roofs and are painted in bright colors. Cooking is usually done in a separate structure with ventilation to release smoke and heat to keep the home cool. Significant amounts of rural to urban migration has created a serious housing shortage in cities. Slums and squatter settlements can commonly be found in the capital city of Santo Domingo because of this. In 1993, the infant mortality rate in the Dominican Republic was 49 deaths for every 1,000 births. The average life expectancy was estimated to be 69 years. Hospitals and medical professionals are concentrated in the largest cities, which are Santo Domingo and Santiago. The quality of healthcare is lower in rural areas. However, health programs are offered throughout the welfare system. This covers between 70 to 80% of the population. The poor economy has resulted in shortages of doctors and nurses, medicine, and medical supplies. So those who can't afford it consult private physicians. Very few Dominicans own a car. Most of the passengers' cars are driven either by the very wealthy or tourists. In 1990, the literacy rate was at an estimated 83%. The law requires students to attend school for only 8 years. It is common for many to leave to help support their families. Other problems with education include the shortage of teachers, specifically in rural areas, and a lack of facilities. Places of higher education are limited to the Autonomous University of Santo Domingo and four private universities. Family is very important to the Dominican Republic. Loyalty to the family comes from any other social relationship, even business. Extended family will live together or within the same vicinity. It's usual for the oldest male to make the decisions affecting the balance of the family. When it comes to conflict, the island of Hispaniola is shared between the Haiti and Dominican Republic. They have a complex history starting back with Christopher Columbus followed by French and their slaves would revolt. Haiti took over the entire island for 22 years. The Dominican Republic had to regain its freedom. In 1937, thousands of Haitians were killed along the border. After the earthquake, Haitians flooded the Dominican Republic for help. Dominican Republic does not allow anyone with Haitian background to get citizenship within the DR. When it comes to success, Dominicans value it by how high a person stands in society. This is all according to what kind of job they hold and how much power they have in a community. An extended family household with a prominent father figure is normal among the middle and upper classes. Low-income families tend to be less stable, and many of these households consist of either a couple with or without children that live together in a common-law marriage. A female-headed household with an absent father figure is also the other common scenario. Men are still considered the head of the household, but in recent years, women have exerted more authority within the family and have greater educational and employment opportunities. The Hernandez family has been the center of the Dominican Republic's heritage for years. Salome Llerena de Hernandez was a 19th century poet who successfully created the country's first higher education facility for women, known as the Instituto de Señoritas. In the 20th century, Pedro Henriquez Llerena, a critic, was extremely involved in the education system. Gaston Fernando de Langue is considered the Dominican national poet. The best-known Dominican writer is Juan Bosch. He also briefly served as president. The Dominican Republic also has a National Symphony Orchestra and a National School of Fine Arts, which are both located in Santo Domingo. Musically, the Dominican Republic is known for the creation of the musical style and genre called merengue, a type of lively, fast-paced rhythm and dance music consisting of a tempo of about 120 to 160 beats per minute. Based on musical elements like drums, brass, corded instruments, and accordion, as well as some elements unique to the Spanish-speaking Caribbean, such as the tambora or gura. Bachata is a style of music that inhabitants of shanty towns call their own, meaning they call it theirs before anyone else gets it. Though this may seem like a negative connotation, one should remember that bachata has been widely accepted through many, though not all, classes of Dominican society. Bachata evolved from bolero, a Pan-American style said to have originated in Cuba. The guitars are the principal instruments in bachata. They are accompanied by the bongo and gura. The Dominican bourgeoisie at first dismissed bachata as worthless, and it was therefore given the name bachata, meaning a rowdy lower-class fiesta. Until fairly recently, bachata was informally banned from Dominican radio and television. Despite this, bachata flourished and has now gained wide acceptance, not only in the Dominican Republic, but worldwide. One of the most popular bands making bachata music was the former band Aventura. Like many traditions that have survived in the Dominican Republic, the cuisine is a blend of Spanish, African, and even Taino influences. The particular type of cuisine is known as comida criolla, which is also found in other Caribbean areas and adapts classic Spanish and African recipes to ingenious ingredients and Taino cooking methods. Dominican cuisine is generally heavy on starches, and commonly used starches include rice, potatoes, yuca, cassava, and bananas. One of the most popular dishes in the Dominican Republic, and one you'll find on nearly every restaurant menu, is la bandera, the flag. La bandera is a meal of stewed meat over white rice with beans, usually red, fried green plantains, and salad. Another common dish is a sweet bean soup with root vegetables known as habichuela con dulce, and the Dominican's variation on the Spanish dish of paella is known as locria, which uses rice colored with acote instead of saffron. The film we chose is Sugar. It's a 2008 sports drama film. It follows the story of Miguel Santos, aka Sugar, a Dominican pitcher from San Pedro de Macorís, struggling to make it to the big leagues and pull himself and his family out of poverty. Playing professionally at a baseball academy in the Dominican Republic, Miguel finally gets his break at age 19 when he advances to the United States minor league system. After making it into a single A team, he struggles in America with learning English and getting along with people. Although he is doing well on the team, his loneliness makes him really think about what he is doing. He will eventually stop playing baseball and moves to New York City, where he finds a sense of community playing with other rejected minor league players. The event that we attended was in Hazleton, PA, where they recently opened a nonprofit organization, much like the Ronald McDonald House, for those of Dominican heritage. This organization promotes Hispanic culture in northeastern Pennsylvania through things such as cultural events, ESL and music classes, dance groups, citizenship preparation classes, workshops, and family counseling. It also serves as a safe haven for those that may be victims of domestic violence, not just for Dominicans, but for all people. They claim their mission is to integrate and promote acceptance and understanding of their people and culture. All services and classes are free of charge. When selecting candidates to interview, we tried to do people of varying ages who would give completely honest answers. When asked of their religious standpoint, they all unanimously agreed upon Catholic. Culturally, it was agreed that it is important to spend quality time with friends and family, whether it be on an average basis or celebrating a holiday. Relationships are very important to them. A repeated answer for traditional celebration was Three Kings Day. After descriptions, it became clear that it is almost like Christmas is to us, although they celebrate that too. So when you move to your new house, you'll have an extra joyous holiday. Three Kings Day is celebrated beginning on January 4th when children begin writing letters to the kings, just like Santa, to be left under trees, in their rooms, or for their parents and family. On the 5th of January, the children gather water, grass, and food to leave under the trees at night so the wise men and their camels can eat. At dawn, you can hear in the street whistles, laughter, and the sound of bikes, children running and playing with their toys after opening the gifts. After the children receive their gifts, the celebration is extended to the community. The children visit their neighbors to show off their gifts, and their neighbors usually give them other gifts left by them for the wise men. Participants informed us that this holiday is based off the Bible verse Matthew 2:11, when the three kings deliver gold and goods to Jesus Christ. One participant claimed that education was his greatest value as to become something of himself. Others gave examples including family, children, money, and honest living. As for differences between our social norms and theirs, things vary indefinitely. One participant described almost all of their social experiences to be different. Houses were described as being differently built with wood in almost a cheap manner but painted bright colors. Public transportation is more common as people rarely have their own cars. People also enjoy walking and biking places regularly. Clothing is also different. They could care less about brand names or how things are made. Most of the time people walk around barefoot or shirtless and no one blinks an eye. Also, laws are not strictly enforced and people kind of do things the way they want. This reflects on how conflict is handled as the law enforcement and government do not usually get involved. One participant even stated that if the conflict is for a young girl, the whole block will come out to settle it. For example, two men may fight out a difference on the street until it is settled without being interrupted by a cop, and it is left up to the people. Respect towards parents, family, and elders is also very, very important. Two things participants specifically pointed out that greatly differ from them were our foods and our attitudes towards our parents and elders. One described some of our entrees as weird. They also stress how difficult it is for one to become wealthy when born into a poor family. But when and if they do, it is a great achievement. Almost always their main goal is to have a better life for their family. When celebrating religious holidays and events, it is not uncommon for people to celebrate extensively with food, alcohol, and loud music. They all agreed that traditional foods were the highlight of celebrations.